that sent me a text earlier in the week. And the gist of it, hello, Larry Cawthorn. Thanks for listening. I appreciate it. And Dale, I hope you are too. I've got a little,
Which mic? A little crap.
you on the yellow one right there beside you.
I'm on this one.
Man, as many times you've been here.
I'm off. I put these headphones on, and that just threw me completely off. I see myself on the
Okay,
thing, and
yeah,
I'm just-
okay. Brother David Settles is here with us. Dave, how are you? Are you okay? You told me everything was good before we walked in here. You doing all
I
right?
spoke a little too soon there, Ed. I spoke a
telling
little
you.
too soon.
Well, don't we all? But anyway, the gist of it is, hey, I got something I want to talk about, and I'm coming on your show. That's what all my guests do. They just call, say, hey, I'm going to be there Sunday night. Be ready for it. Okay, whatever.
It's like, who's the host here?
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
That's okay. It makes it very colorful.
Yes.
I don't know. Yeah, my wife's. I don't know who's going to be on your show this week. I don't know. You have to look on Facebook and find out. Check my phone. See who send me messages.
Check around and tell me who said they would.
Jackson's on the board and doing a good job as usual, and we are here at WGNS here in Murfreesboro. And I'll tell you what, Jax. Before we get started, let's go ahead and let's kick this thing off. But for right now, my name is Edwin Lee Raymer, and yes, I'm still a private investigator. Welcome aboard.
This is the Edwin Lee Raymer Show with your host, Ed Raymer, on your good neighbor station, News Radio, WGNS Murfreesboro.
And that is a little stiff upper lip for you from AC/DC, and this is the Edwin Lee Raymer Show, and I'm your host, Ed Raymer. This show is produced at the studios right here at WGNS, AM 1450, 100.5, 101.9, right here in the heart of the great volunteer state, Murfreesboro, Tennessee. Now, you can reach me and David tonight with your questions, comments, or thoughts at 615-893-1450. That's 615-893-1450. And you can also send a text to that number, and Jackson will be glad to read it over the air for you, or he'll write it down, hand it to me or Dave, and we'll read it for you. Now, you can also listen to us via the internet at WGNSradio.com. Linda Huddleston. Hi, Linda. I hope you're listening. I know that she's my cousin. She's sending messages to me all the time. And folks, if I forget to mention your name, I apologize. But hello, cuz. Hope you're doing good. And you can watch us on YouTube, okay, on YouTube at WGNS or News Radio WGNS, okay? And we're live, and you see on all of our shows there. Still relatively new to us, but it's a great setup. We're on the air right now. I'm looking right at Dave, looking right at me, unfortunately. Yep. And
it's not a good view and not too pretty from where I sit.
Well, you look great, of course, I'm sure. Yeah. Thank you, Dave.
I mean, when Jackson left, the whole landscape just went down.
I'm telling you, folks, the respect is just running knee deep in here. Something else is running knee deep too.
Put on your waders.
Now you can also download the WGNS app and take WGNS with you wherever you go. Listen wherever you wish, and check out Angela Bingham and Simplicity. She does a great job. She's just a fine person, and she's been on there, I think, 4 or 5 years now. I got to ask her and see. But Dave, you know her. She's just a fantastic person.
Fantastic. The whole family, the
Bingham sisters. Yeah.
They just honored Angela at our Women in the NAACP. They had a luncheon just a couple of weeks ago.
Really?
And they honored
I did
her.
not know that.
Yeah. It was really nice.
It's deserving.
Yeah, quite deserving.
And she's an educator here in Rutherford County as well. And I think at Case and Lane, I'm not sure.
Yeah, I think so.
I think it is. And
if not, you can call in and correct us, Miss Bingham.
Please do. All of you that have written back, I know you're listening tonight, and we've got some things to go over. Dave, what's
yes,
on your
sir.
mind?
Well, there's a whole lot on my mind tonight. We I know we text back and forth about it. Quite a few things that are happening on the national level.
Right.
Now, something I saw just today that caught my attention, it may have been yesterday, the NAACP, I don't know if you saw this. The NAACP issues travel advisory for Florida, saying the state is openly hostile toward African Americans under Governor DeSantis' administration. Boom.
You're kidding. Yeah,
Kid you not.
I know. Well, he's done cost, he's fighting with the mouse down there. He's done
It
cost
is
the state in
here
excess of $1 billion.
Hilarious.
I don't get it. And they lost a mayor's race to the biggest
Yes.
city in the state in Jacksonville, and a
Go
lady won that.
Jacksonville. Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought that was remarkable.
About enough to make me become a Jaguars fan.
It's close, right?
I'll pull for you until you play Tennessee. But, I mean,
It's remarkable,
yes,
because the party, and as I say as my disclaimer, I don't wear any particular political stripe. However,
Yeah.
if you are the party that has the elephant as its mascot, you
Yeah.
are supposed to be pro-business. Now, that's my understanding.
that's the way I've always understood
That's
it.
one
Yeah.
of the things that they
Right.
really stand for. Free market, let the free markets go as they go.
Yeah.
Ride it
The
into
best government is no government.
Is no government,
Right.
yes.
Yeah.
Deregulation,
Understood.
whatever. And what we're finding is the hypocrisy of that party is just coming more and more evident. Part of that has to do, Ed, with the fact that when you get these supermajority, and we talked about this the last time I was
Yes,
here.
yes.
Whenever you get these supermajorities in states, you
Right.
will start to see the hypocrisy of them.
Mm-hmm.
So, although I've bemoaned that, we have a supermajority here, and you've started to see some of the cracks,
Well, I mean,
the
the
foundation.
one that got me more than anything else recently, of course. Now, and let me say this: David and I talked, and I said, "You're more than welcome." Earlier in the week, I said, "You're more than welcome to come on this Tuesday or Wednesday when we talk." And I said, "But by Sunday, who knows where we'll be?"
Right, exactly. We have no idea.
That's the world of these people that we live in.
Minute by minute.
Yeah, I mean, Marjorie Taylor Greene is going to impeach the president, and my question is this: that's not how it works. First of all,
Right.
Miss Greene,
Yeah.
on what grounds?
Yeah.
Just because you don't like him?
Seems
I
to be
mean-
pretty much it. I think she's addicted to the microphone and the limelight, so anything that she
Well.
can say that's just utterly ridiculous.
Just to get the camera on them.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
that's campaigning.
Oh, absolutely.
Gates and that bunch. And
Yeah,
this-
and it's always, and I guess my thing, if I were to, and you and I both are semi-students of history.
sure.
If we researched and went back to the mind of the originators,
Right.
they didn't have in mind that these guys would go to Congress and stay forever.
They didn't.
That was not it. You would go there, serve some time,
Some of
do
them
your
are served.
time.
Some of them are served.
and
Yeah.
go back to your constituents and become a normal person again.
Right.
But somewhere along the way, that changed. So much to the point that everybody that gets elected is in a constant state of reelection.
all
You ever
they do.
notice that?
That's all they do. There was one congressman, congresswoman, it was congressman. It was a man in this case, and I forget what state. It's been 3 or 4 years ago, and they told him when he got to Congress, his first day, and they have an initiation for the new people
Right,
that are there,
right.
and they pulled him aside and said, "Your job right now." He said, "Well, I've got a lot I want to do. So there's a lot of people
Yeah.
in my constituency that
Yeah.
they want to get this done, that done." He said, "No, you're not going to do that. So the first thing you better start doing is campaigning, and you
Yep.
better start fundraising."
Yep.
He said, "Well, what about I said, "I came here on a place." He said, "Now forget all that."
Yeah.
He said, "You've got to fundraise right
Yep.
now. You've only got 2 years."
Yeah.
And that's the world those guys and gals live in.
Absolutely.
And
it's a constant.
It's a
grabbing,
constant
grabbing of power.
That's all it is.
Yeah, it's sickening.
I mean, the founding fathers, we've talked about this, they had farms. Most of them,
Yes.
a lot of them were slave owners.
Absolutely,
They were.
Yeah.
And by the time they were done, at that time, there was no prestige
Yeah,
of being a governor. I mean,
exactly.
if you want to see the president, you could just go
Drive up,
right
yep.
up to the White House on
Exactly.
your horse and go
Yes.
in and say, "Hey, I
Yeah.
got a problem."
Yeah. I heard Lincoln threw some really swinging parties back in the day. I'm serious. I mean, they would go on for like days at a time.
Well, I
that's
know
just
they
what I
had
read.
barbecues that lasted like
I was
that.
going to ask you if you remembered when. Okay, never mind.
Yeah, I was out on the street reporting at the Lincoln assassination out until 2, 3 o'clock in the morning.
I know it.
Thank you, Dave.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, yeah, an out-of-work comedian. It's a comic. It's great.
I work birthdays,
I love it.
bar mitzvahs, anniversaries, you name it.
Oh, you're just a man of all seasons, right?
Pretty much.
Hey, listen, your church. Mention your church, please, because I want to give you a chance to
Sure.
do that.
The
before
Worship
we forget.
Center. We are at 1111 Memorial Boulevard,
Right
here in the city. You know where, shameless plugs for
It's
us.
the old O'Charlie's.
Yeah,
You're across from
right across
and
from
I
there.
forget what that is. It's a
Joe's Computer Shack is right next door, and everybody knows Joe's
Right.
Computer Shack. I'm not advertising for him. It's just
you're right
so
past the
happens that-
car wash on the left,
Yeah.
going out of town.
Exactly.
Right. Smith
Yeah.
Brothers.
Smith
is it?
Brothers, right there. Right there, and across from El Rayon. If you've never been there and had that Middle Eastern, oh my God, their food is so good.
Is that right?
It's so-
Middle Eastern.
Yeah, so very good. And they've got a whole market in there.
Really?
You'll feel like you're like in a different country, really, altogether. It's just nice, beautiful people, wonderful people over there. So it's great. In
Right.
fact, we've got a fish fry coming up Saturday
Oh, to church?
at the church,
Oh, okay.
10:30. You'll love it. Come by. You missed it last time because I didn't let
Right.
you know in time,
Yeah.
but I'm
Right.
telling you now. So if you're not out doing private investigating or harassing people, you can. He has a couple of places that he harasses on a regular basis. McDonald's is one. Captain D's is another.
He knows that firsthand. It's where we met.
And if he's feeling real fancy, he'll get dressed up and go to Waffle House.
Folks, we're going to be ending the show early tonight. I'm going to tell you, if we can get Jackson in here, he'll be back in here. We're going to run our first series of ads and get that out of the way.
Absolutely.
Now, your fish fry will start around
Around
10:30,
10:30,
11,
around
and then you
10:30.
go to, what, 1 or 2 in the afternoon? Whatever.
Yeah, somewhere in there.
Right.
Until I
Okay.
sell out of fish.
I'm going to tell you. You better watch it. I'm telling you.
I know.
Okay, we're going to go to our first. Jackson's on the board, and we're going to go to our first series of breaks. You're with Brother David Settles. I'm Ed Raymer, the Edwin Lee Raymer Show. We're going to be back with you right after this. Stay with us. Hello, everyone. It's Ed with Private Investigations in Middle Tennessee. You know, if you just need someone checked out on a background check, tag them a run, or if you need someone full-fledged to follow, give us a call. You can reach me at 615-390-7219. That's 615-390-7219. Or check out our website at piofmt.com. That's piofmt.com.
I felt so alone, scared, angry, full of self-pity. I just wanted to die, so I took another drink. Then I heard about AA and went to my first meeting. The people there talked about those same feelings. I was no longer alone. They gave me help to stop drinking and hope to start living. Alcoholics Anonymous, it works. Look us up. Check your phone book, newspaper, or aa.org.
Hey, this is Ed, everybody. Want to tell you about a sponsor of ours. We've got Complete Yard Care. Their slogan is, we do it all. Low maintenance landscape design, retaining walls, tree removal, stump grinding, lawns cut, mulching, landscaping. Now you can reach them at 615-785-0384. Or you can look them up on the web at CompleteYardCareTN.com. They have a 5-star ranking on Google. That's Complete Yard Care. We do it all. Go to J. Mullins Jewelers and check out their collection of reactor watches. They're located at 352 West Northfield Boulevard right here in Murfreesboro, Tennessee. And also custom-made jewelry. If you want it, they can make it for you. Also gifts for any and all occasions. Weddings, graduations, family reunions, anniversaries, all of it. That's J. Mullins Jewelers, 352 West Northfield Boulevard right here in Murfreesboro, Tennessee. Thank you, Jackson. Appreciate it. Thank you to all of our sponsors. We appreciate it. Tim Mullins at J. Mullins Jewelers. Thank you. All of you. Complete Yard Care. All the rest. Thank you very much. We're deeply appreciative of you. Don't think we never forget that. And, we were talking, and again with this DeSantis guy, you don't fight with a mouse.
No, you can't fight with a mouse, especially not in his house.
No.
Because think about it. Disney was there before DeSantis.
They were there before me and you.
Yeah.
We
When
were
Walt-
still in three-cornered pants.
When Walt Disney drove into Florida in that swampy Orange Grove place, he had a vision.
Yes.
He had a real vision.
He did.
And Florida was a nothing state. I mean, just honestly, backwater. Nobody went there except to fish and stuff like that.
Right. Yeah.
And
Tourists.
nothing against the people of Florida.
The ocean.
Yeah,
all that.
stuff like
Right.
that. But he had a vision, and anybody will tell you that Walt Disney is the one that brought life to, especially the Orlando area.
South Florida.
Yeah, South Florida, and they have prospered because of that relationship.
And I don't know how many people, Dave. Now, me and my family, we've never gone to Disney World. Frankly, at the time, couldn't afford it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I had a friend that went and said, "Be ready to drop $7,000-8,000."
Yes, he was right.
Because you're going to stay there on the campus per
Yeah,
se.
yeah.
In the hotel. You're going to be in the theme park 2 or 3 days.
At
You've got
least.
to see all
Yeah,
this.
you do.
And I mean, how much money? This billion is a side.
I know.
I'm talking about people today that say, honey, I don't think we've got, in the country split about 50-50, and there's a bunch of those people that are Democrats saying, I don't think we ought to go to Florida.
Yeah, that's scary.
And somebody else told me, I heard of whoever it was, they're going to Alabama.
Yeah, yeah.
Down to South,
Sure.
they've got, Gulf Shores, Alabama,
Sure.
great place, good
Absolutely.
condominiums down there, just
Yeah.
like Panama City.
Yeah.
But they're not going to be going no farther south to Orlando.
Listen.
I don't understand it.
It doesn't work when you fight against some of these corporations. And why would you?
I
don't
know.
I don't know if you remember, Ed, some years ago when and again, another disclaimer, I don't stick my flag in any other,
Sure. Understood.
place. I don't know if you remember some years ago when the Southern Baptist Convention,
Yeah.
which is headquartered here
Right.
in Tennessee.
Yes, sir.
Do you remember when they boycotted Disney? Do you remember that?
Yeah.
They boycotted Disney
over the
because-
gay,
right.
the gay thing.
Do you know how
Right.
long that boycott lasted?
I forget, but it was kind of a joke.
Yeah, like
It's,
a couple of weeks, because
Excuse me.
they realized there's something about, and everybody knows. We just talked about my church. I have a church. I'm a pastor.
Sure. Right.
And what I understand is my job is to preach the gospel of Jesus Christ the way that I know it to be.
Right.
So, but it's not my job to legislate that everybody believe it just like I do, or else I get to punish them.
Right.
It is a
Sure.
free gospel. If you want it, you want it. If you don't, you don't. And so what the Southern Baptist Convention tried to do was to force Disney to change. Well, Disney wasn't going to change. And eventually the Southern Baptist Convention said, we don't really care that much, because for one, the boycott didn't work.
I would imagine a lot of their members would come and say, "Hey, you need to back off this stance."
Yeah, and they still went. So, and so much so until I think I was reading recently, they gave discounted tickets to go to some. But how do you get around it? And culture wars, yes,
Yeah.
but we can't, as the church, abdicate our responsibility for teaching morality and standards and norms and all of that to the government. And that's what it seems like we're doing. It's
Separation of church and
there
state.
is a distinctive, and I'm grateful for that line of separation between the church and the state.
I know, and that's the reason we've got a lot of people that are really upset here in Rutherford County. When a couple of weeks ago, about 3 weeks ago,
Yeah.
Rutherford County School Board voted
Yeah.
to fund this private school system
Yes.
that's coming here,
Yes.
and people that you never dreamed
Yeah.
would have ever voted for that.
Yeah, it was remarkable to me.
Yeah.
But-
I mean, they're voting against. I mean, even the school board, the superintendent of schools voted for it. I think I stand corrected on that if he did.
Well, the superintendent,
Or-
I don't know if he could.
You're voting against your own interest.
You're voting against your own interest, and it's pressure. We're almost reverting.
Right.
When Mr. Trump started this whole Make America Great thing, then people started
yeah.
nostalgicizing some eras of our time, which weren't great for everybody. They were great for some people.
Right.
You know, but I don't really want to go back to the time when religion dictated because remember, it hasn't been that many years ago in history
It hasn't.
that a woman could not have her own bank account without her husband signing for it, couldn't buy a car without her husband signing for it. You couldn't she couldn't initiate a divorce. You know,
I
these
remember.
were all things,
Yes.
and if you research it, you know, all of these were branches out from the moral status of our country. We thought,
Right.
you know, we're just morally superior to everybody because we have the Bible, and you wear the Bible belt and all those things. And
Right.
really, it was the same thing I said recently, just a few minutes ago. It just made a bunch of hypocrites.
Well, they're very good at that.
Just a bunch
know.
of hypocrites.
And here we get to a thing that I came to.
Scott
this week.
Desjardins comes to mind. I'm sorry.
Oh, great. Dr. Desjardins. Yeah. Yeah, Bart Gordon. Yeah, he's done so much.
Yeah,
you know,
right.
he's done a bunch. I want to ask you something.
Sure.
And I stole this from Steve Schmidt.
Call the
Who's a
police. He done
Republican?
stole something
No,
else.
Steve, this is on YouTube.
Okay.
It's free for everybody.
Free for everybody.
I don't
Okay.
think Steve would be mad. I became a Steve Schmidt fan. Believe it or
Okay.
not, he's a Republican.
Okay.
Worked for Senator McCain,
Sure.
who was an American hero.
Absolutely. Regardless of what the former president says.
had a quick temper, and
Yeah.
that's fine.
Yeah.
He let you know what he thought.
Absolutely.
You know.
Respected the
But he
man.
was talking with Keith Olbermann,
Okay.
and the difference between facts and truth.
Okay.
We've got a real problem with that today. And I listened to this broadcast. I said, this is pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if I tell you right here on this broadcast that, David, I think this week I'm going to sign a contract with a major radio company,
Mm-hmm.
and it'll pay me between $2 and $2.5 million a year. Now, that's a fact. I
Okay.
just told you that.
You just told me.
But is it true?
Right. Yeah.
And we've got a lot of people that, well, I heard so-and-so say this. What
yeah.
I know you heard that.
Right.
But is it true?
Right.
Now, I've listened a number of times, especially to this talk radio bunch,
Okay.
which I'm a part of.
I was going to say.
God bless you, you too, right now. I mean, and by the way, thanks for doing this. I
I'm
appreciate
happy
it.
to be
No.
here. Fills my heart.
But, and, you know, I heard one local broadcaster in Nashville. My father had an appointment with his heart doctor at that
Okay.
time. Dad was still alive. And he said, Hillary Clinton, and is it possible she might have a gay lover? We'll talk about it when we come back.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Went to a break. I said, I'm going to sit here. I still smoked in those days.
Okay.
I was smoking a cigarette, had a cup of coffee.
Mm-hmm.
I said, I want to see how this goes. I want to see what
Yeah.
this guy says.
Yeah.
The rest of that show, for 30 to 40 minutes, not one
I know it.
word about
I knew
it.
that's what you were going to say. Yeah.
Yeah. You know,
Yeah.
so-and-so, is it possible having a gay affair?
Yeah.
We'll talk about it when we come back. And never say anything.
Yeah.
That's a lie.
Yeah. Flat
It's a
out.
lie.
Yeah.
It's just a lie.
Yeah.
That's not even a fact. I mean, it's a fact you said it,
Yes.
but there's no truth to that.
None at all.
You're conjuring up thing. It's a scare, you know.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Yeah.
You need to.
Exactly.
Oh, they said she was gay. Oh,
Yeah.
man, I
Yeah.
didn't know.
Yeah.
Of course, you know, I want to tell you something, folks. You know, I've got some gay friends. You know, let me tell you, let me let you in on a secret. Gay people spend money, too.
Absolutely. All that money's green. It isn't.
That's
even
all my
rainbow
father
colored.
ever told us one
Yeah.
time. We had a discussion at our house. It was over a holiday, like when we got Memorial Day coming. It was
Sure.
Memorial Day, whatever.
Yeah.
Had the grill. Mom got the grill out. Hot dogs, hamburgers, grandkids, all that. And we were talking about, you know, and somebody had been in the shop. I forget if they were Hispanic or black or whatever. And our father told us, said, boys, let me tell you something about being in business. He said, there's one color you need to worry about.
Yeah.
Is his money green?
Yeah. That's it.
So that's what you're there for.
That's absolutely it. Yeah.
And to treat your customers right.
Absolutely. So they keep coming
So
back
if you're
with that
straight
green.
or gay or you like
Who
whatever, you know, I
cares?
don't care if you're Hispanic. I don't care if you're black, white, Asian. I don't care. if your money is green, come on in.
Absolutely.
And even if it's foreign, we might have an exchange place
We
around
can
here.
make it work.
We'll make it work. You're a preacher. Many a preachers had
Brother,
been paid in chickens.
Let me tell you, if it's money and it spends, we're good.
Yeah.
And that really, and what's so funny and interesting is, Ed, that is what you would think that elephant party would be saying. It's so funny that now we want to discriminate against the money that we receive because it's all about money.
I know.
But the thinking is all the money is held in certain areas. Well, elections run on money, and
Unfortunately, you're correct.
If you want to get reelected, but the other thing about it is sometimes it doesn't matter how much money you spend if you're just a jerk.
Right.
Yeah.
If
you're just a jerk, because we've seen that in a few cases where one party outspent the other one and still lost.
True, and that's happening a lot with these Republicans.
And that's what we're finding out. That's where it's really interesting because it's not. I think people are waking up some.
I think they are, and it really got me because when they did the Roe v. Wade thing and Alito came out with this brainstorm of opinion he wrote.
Yes.
Man, they had a vote the next week in Kansas, of all places.
Yeah. Right.
Mid-America.
Yeah.
Farm state,
Absolutely.
agriculture.
Yes, sir.
And it was 60-40 in
Yes.
favor of Democrats. Those
Yes,
women
sir.
got out and voted, said, hey,
Absolutely.
girls, get your big girl panties on. We're going to vote.
There was so much lost in that one decision.
It's ridiculous. 50 years
was
of progress.
Unreal. But it woke up a lot of Republican women. It woke up a lot of independent women,
I hope
and
so.
it woke up a lot of independent males as well.
Right.
Because when you think about it, the freedoms that were being eroded, and that's why they went on to say, so now you do know that a lot of other laws are hinging on this same principle of privacy.
One being interracial marriage.
That's where we're going. One being
I mean, I
interracial
don't
marriage.
understand how these people.
Clarence Thomas.
I know.
Case in point.
Case in point. I mean, and he's the one that said after that opinion on the Roe decision, hey, we're just getting started.
Yeah.
I thought, if I were you,
I'd
keep my mouth shut.
Shut up. Yeah. Because again, America is, and I wish really people did understand history, because the founding fathers were not as, I don't know, they would be shocked at some of the things that we call our moral rights and
I
this and
believe
that,
you're right.
because they weren't interested in some of the stuff that we're interested in. But it's so interesting that we are just so concerned with what everybody else is doing in their private life that does not affect us.
It's not my business.
I could care less.
I can't handle Eddie.
No.
Much less David and his wife.
No.
No, I don't want. No, I don't want to.
It makes no sense, and it's one of those things where if this is what I do, and I'm not bothering anybody, and I'm not breaking any laws,
Right.
except you might not like it. Why do you care?
I don't know.
I really want. I wish we had, and I know you don't, because Republicans aren't going to listen to your radio show. But I wish
more likely.
I wish we
Right.
had some that would just call in and let us know.
I wish you would. 615-893-1450.
Yeah, just tell
Go ahead.
us what
Tell
is
us.
it?
Yeah,
that-
where are we on the wrong side of the tracks at?
Yeah, how
I've
does-
always wanted to know.
It boggles my mind.
It really does.
Really and truly, because I don't know how it affects you, and God is against it. Well, I mean, God is against a lot of other things, and
True.
and that's why I say separation of church and state, because everybody's Christianity is different, from a Presbyterian to a Methodist to a Baptist to a Church of Christ. We all believe differently. We all call ourselves Christians. So which Christian religion is going to be right? Because for years, no divorce, no birth control, all of these things. Do you want to go back to that? And that's the slippery slope that Roe v. Wade being overturned is going to do.
And I've used this metaphor many a times. Oh, and I know y'all are sick of hearing it. I'm going to do it again. Oh, if we could just go back to 1955.
Oh, my God.
Let me tell you something. My mother said it best. She came out of a home where her little feet hit the ground every morning on a wood floor that was cold in the winter.
Yeah.
Heated the house with a fireplace and a coal stove. Mm-hmm. Okay?
Yeah.
No carpeting.
Right. Of
Okay.
course not. Who could
They
afford
ate
that?
good. They lived on a farm.
Sure.
Come out of the Depression. Mom and Dad were born in 36.
Wow.
I'd always ask Mom, how was it in the Depression? She said, I don't know. It was on the farm. It was always depressing on our farm. And she
was
said, but
always
let me tell
depressing.
you,
Yeah.
son, we moved to town and said, we live in Smyrna, Tennessee today. When we moved down there, we moved here from Kentucky in 1980. Said, let me tell you something. We were redoing their bedroom.
Yeah.
I've told this story before. I took her to Dalton, Georgia, in her Cadillac, by the way, which I was allowed to drive. Okay. 55. And no,
Wow.
she let me go. But I had a good friend down there. We were building houses at the time.
Sure.
We were redoing Mom and Dad's bedroom down on Hutchinson Drive in Smyrna. A lot of people are listening know where that house is. We sold it last August. But and she said, and she bought a piece of flooring or carpet
Okay.
for their bedroom. David Settles, I'm telling you, it was that thick. I said, let me ask you something. We was driving back, and I forget, she paid like $18 a yard. Now, this is back 25
Oh, wow.
years. Yeah. Today, there's no telling what it would go
Yeah.
for. Hardest stuff to lay there was. You talking about little brother. Yeah.
I would imagine.
It was not.
I would imagine.
We were used to laying the cheap stuff.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Not to say the houses we built had cheap. We put the
Right.
best we could get in there, But this was really exceptional. I said, Mom, you talk to Dad about this? She looked at me and said, you driving my Cadillac, ain't you? I said, but that much for a rug. Said, let me tell you something, hon. Said, people talk about going back to the 50s and 60s,
Yeah.
the good old days.
Yeah.
Said, these are the good
I
old
hear
days.
you, brother. Absolutely.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
I got a phone I can pick up and call.
Yeah.
I don't know if I can call around the world or not. Thank you, Carol Ann. I appreciate you. Carol Ann's down in Chattanooga, and she listens every week. Thank you so much.
Hi, Caroline.
And, yeah, because she said you make a good guest.
Oh, really? Well, I'm glad to be
Yeah.
here.
And Aileen did, too, I believe.
I saw somebody said that.
Yeah,
I thought,
yeah,
boy,
yeah. I think it was Carol Ann that said
I'm
that. I'll give her
impressed.
credit for
I'm
it anyway.
impressed.
Well, of course, I said, you really don't know him.
Caller, are you there?
Ladies, his wife sends him up here because she wants an hour alone.
She
okay?
wants peace.
Wants peace and quiet. But anyway, no, she said, Mom did say that. She always said, let me tell you something,
Yeah.
boys. These are the good old days. And if you had to go back, can you imagine some of these kids
Not
going back
at
living
all.
without air conditioning?
Not at all. Not at all. It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy. But even aside from the modern conveniences,
Unbelievable.
it's unbelievable. And I
Really
think
is.
oftentimes we don't really know the benefits because we've grown up with them.
Right.
I was born in '69, so
I was born in 58.
Yeah, so
Okay.
a lot of the things that we've seen change, a lot of our kids and grandkids definitely will never know what that's like.
Right.
They'll never know what that's like. So when some old codger says, let's go back to the good old days of the 50s and the 60s, well, you're talking about a time when women, and I talk about women a lot because I'm a big feminist. I believe in women's rights.
Right. But you black folks didn't have,
oh,
y'all didn't have an easy road
not
to
at
hoe
all.
either.
Not at all. But the black woman had it even worse.
I know.
And the white
It was
woman
terrible.
and white women were treated horribly as well. I mean, they allegedly were not. But do you know that it was not illegal to beat your wife for many, many, many years in the United States?
I have not heard.
Oh, yeah.
If I had, I've forgotten about it.
I promise you could actually, it would be hard to prosecute that you paddled your wife. And I think I know people don't believe that. Read your history. It really was. So have you seen some of the advertisements back in the 60s and 70s? Yeah, it's just unreal.
It's crazy.
Especially and that's why I scratch my head at any teacher, lawyer, woman, or black person that says I'm a proud Republican. It makes me scratch my head.
Yeah, it makes
It makes me scratch my
It
head.
does me too.
It makes me scratch
I don't
my head.
understand, folks. I don't think they don't know their history, David.
Right.
They really don't.
Right.
I mean, come on, man. We're talking earlier about that, wanting to change, John
Yeah,
Lewis
yeah.
way to Donald Trump
let's-
drive or whatever. Will you please get out of here?
Just please sit down and have several seats.
That man sat in the cafe, buddy.
And you know what? Speaking of which, the guy that's running he's going to run for governor in North Carolina, black guy, Republican.
Republican, yeah.
he talks. He in time past, I think he's kind of tried to moderate his tone against the civil rights movement and said that it was a waste of time and it should never have happened, and that if we
The civil rights movement?
Yeah.
Does he realize the privilege he has today because of the bravery? John Lewis was hurt in one of those marches.
Oh, I know.
Seriously injured.
I know. And he took it and I thought, what kind of pandering are you really doing?
I don't know.
From the perspective that if the black people had just refused to go to these Woolworth lunch counters or here and there and all of that, then let the free market take its course and all of these things.
Yeah.
And and it from that perspective, and I thought, wow, how short-sighted are you to think, because the whole thing about the civil rights movement is the same thing that we fought in the Revolutionary War, if you think about it, which is no taxation without representation.
Right.
Because every black man and woman and everybody else had to pay taxes like everybody else, but they didn't get the same rights as everybody else.
Right.
So it's not right for you to take my money but not give me the same services, because then my money is supplementing what other people get and I'm getting the short end of the stick, and you just can't do that according to your own laws and constitution. So it just could not be upheld. It just was no way that you could do it. Again, revealing hypocrisy in the system.
It goes on. It's very prevalent in our history.
Well, and that's the reason DeSantis wants to stop teaching anything about the history of this country as far as it relates to civil rights.
Well, and they talk about this. What is it? The CRT.
Oh, CRT.
That's only
critical race theory.
That's only taught in law school.
It's only taught on the college level.
College level.
It's only taught on the college level, and it's become a buzzword. It's become a buzzword. People really don't even know what it is, but they say it.
And we're back to, is this truth or is it facts?
Right.
Or is it fiction?
Yeah.
You know. True. He said that TLC, that stuff. He said that's being taught. I know he said that.
Yeah.
But is it true?
Is it true? And that's the thing. They've got a teacher now that's facing charges in Florida for showing a Disney film that depicted a gay character in it. I kid you not.
Oh, man.
Yeah. It's really, really weird, because now we're getting into some real, Big Brother type stuff. Like, at any moment, I kid you not, at any moment, I look to open up the news and see that there's been another major book burning in some city, And
that you're not too far off the mark. You're not too far off the mark. Yeah, they're already wanting to take some books. Here was a good one, too. The DeSantis book that he put out.
Yeah.
By the rules and standards he put down, they may have to ban his book from school. He's the author of his own book. How crazy. It's like the guy's going to commit suicide. He's got the pistol pointed at his big toe.
He doesn't understand.
I'm going to shoot myself. I'm going to do it.
Yeah,
come on, man.
Yeah. I think even some of his Republican colleagues are scratching their heads like,
I hope they are.
He's trying to out-Trump Trump, which ain't no easy task. I mean, how do you ridiculousness over the ridiculousness that's already there?
Well, but Trump has more problems, and we talked about this over the phone the other day. He's got a little.
You said
lady.
Trump has problems?
Yeah. Well, here's a little lady down there. She is one of the assistant DAs out there. Maybe she may be the DA. I don't know.
Yeah.
But Fonnie Willis.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
She has basically given the warning that she wants to put the city on all our law enforcement people down there. I say our law enforcement people because they're all in this together.
Absolutely.
Okay? For the county, for the city of Atlanta, on high alert.
Yes.
Now, I don't think she's just playing around.
No. She's not.
No.
There really is something
this is a different
down.
situation. Trump, and I've been involved, I always represented ourselves. We had property. I served detainer warrants and all that stuff.
Yeah.
That was fine. That was civil.
Yeah. Yeah.
All we were going for was just to get possession of our property back.
Yeah.
Wasn't suing for any back money, nothing like that. Nobody getting beat up, nobody's legs getting broken. Just please give me my keys back.
Right.
And please get out. That's
Vacate.
it.
Yeah.
When you get on, and I've got a lawyer friend of mine who's down south of us here, and that's all he and his son do is federal work.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow.
They stay in federal court, and he'll tell you when you get on this level that Miss Willis is on.
Yeah.
you were in a whole different ball game then. And this is not a little gal that says you raped her either.
Right.
This is, in which that case was won by that lady.
Yeah.
And then, silly enough, he goes on CNN and starts talking about
this
it.
guy.
And looks like she's going to go back to court and may get a judgment for more. Now, I don't think she'll ever get her money.
Right.
But,
Who has he
she
ever
might.
paid? That's
No,
the
he's
question.
never
Has he
paid
ever
anyone.
paid anybody?
No. But when Miss Willis gets through with him, I want to see what happens here.
Yeah.
Not to mention what who's the judge that's in Washington? Is it New York, Washington?
Who? Tell me, because I'm.
No, the guy that's on the federal case,
Oh.
January 6th.
Oh,
I forget his name. There's so many of them I can't keep up.
there's a lot of bozos running around.
Yeah,
I'm not saying it was them.
Yeah, he's still, he is ongoing. He's continual. He pursues it. So I don't know. I'll tell you what we're going to do. David Settle's been good enough to be with us, and Jackson's going to take us.
I
to
wish
our
you guys
last-
could see Jackson. He is the coolest.
He's a pretty cool guy,
think
ain't
Jackson was born late. Jackson should have been born like in the late
60s.
50s and 60s. I mean,
Yeah, he
he's
should
got
have
that. I would tell you all that he looks like a 60s porn star, but I don't want anybody like coming up to the station trying to
Look,
break down the doors and
Jackson, let's
stuff.
just cut his mic off first of all, and let's get.
He's the best.
Hey, these kids up here are great. I call them kids because I mean they're young people.
He's
They
at
do a
least
great
20.
job. Yeah, and Bill Wilson's standing outside.
Oh,
trying
who
to get
cares
in.
about Bill Wilson?
We're going to go to our last series of breaks. David Settles with us. Back with you right after this. Stay with us. Hello, everyone. It's Ed with Private Investigations in Middle Tennessee. If you just need someone checked out on a background check, tag them a run, or if you need someone full-fledged to follow, give us a call. You can reach me at 615-390-7219. That's 615-390-7219. Or check out our website at piofmt.com. That's piofmt.com.
I felt so alone, scared, angry, full of self-pity. I just wanted to die, so I took another drink. Then I heard about AA and went to my first meeting. The people there talked about those same feelings. I was no longer alone. They gave me help to stop drinking and hope to start living. Alcoholics Anonymous, it works. Look us up. Check your phone book, newspaper, or aa.org.
Hey, this is Ed, everybody. Want to tell you about a sponsor of ours. We've got Complete Yard Care. Their slogan is, we do it all. Low maintenance landscape design, retaining walls, tree removal, stump grinding, lawns cut, mulching, landscaping. Now you can reach them at 615-785-0384. Or you can look them up on the web at CompleteYardCareTN.com. They have a 5-star ranking on Google. That's Complete Yard Care. We do it all. Go to J. Mullins Jewelers and check out their collection of reactor watches. They're located at 352 West Northfield Boulevard right here in Murfreesboro, Tennessee. And also custom-made jewelry. If you want it, they can make it for you. Also gifts for any and all occasions. Weddings, graduations, family reunions, anniversaries, all of it. That's J. Mullins Jewelers, 352 West Northfield Boulevard right here in Murfreesboro, Tennessee. And we are back. Thank you. And again, thanks to all of our sponsors. Thank you to all of you who are listening. I know there are many of you that listen. You talk to me through the week, and you never call in, and that's okay. And thank you very much. I appreciate your support. Okay? Thank you very much. And, Dave, we've got, about 16 minutes left here. Bill's got a guest coming in, and Rita York out of Laverne. Hello, Rita. A supporter of mine, and I appreciate it very much. And a lot of my family and friends that are listening in Southern Kentucky, Western Kentucky, thank you all. They listen online.
Is it because they feel sorry for you, Ed?
They feel sorry for my guest. Don't be surprised you get a fruit basket at Christmas, friend. Dear David, with deepest sympathy, we thank you.
That sounds about accurate.
Yeah, They worry about my gas.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Please, Eddie, put the revolver down, please. Come on, people, it's not that bad.
No.
But
I love coming here to talk with Edwin Lee
no,
Raymer.
you do, and that's how I know a lot of people will listen. No one calls me Edwin Lee Raymer unless they've been listening to the show.
Exactly.
And you'll walk in or you bump into a grocery, Edwin Lee Raymer.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
see,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
And so you're giving it away. That's your tale right there because
That's
I know.
it.
And I want to tell you, one night I ran into a guy, went to school with our son. Our son's 36. He
Okay.
was about your son's age.
Yeah.
Darius no longer with us.
Right.
Rest his soul. And he had him and his wife were there. Had 2 small children. I didn't recognize because these kids grow up.
Oh, yeah.
You know,
Oh,
and
yeah. Tell
they
me.
change so much. And I was looking at something, whatever it was. We were in Kroger and out South Church. And he said, Edwin Lee Raymer. I said, who's that? And it was Scotty. He'd
Wow.
gone to school with Nick.
Yeah.
And he said, I listened to your show on the podcast.
Yeah.
I think at the time he was driving forklift or working
Sure.
a piece of equipment. He said, I put my buds in my
Yeah.
ears and
Yeah. Go for
listen.
it.
Said, I've listened to 2
I
or 3
love
of your
that.
shows a week.
I love that.
So word gets around.
Word
you
is
know.
getting around. That's great.
And I hope word's getting around for 2024 too.
Yeah. 2024 is here.
Now, Dave, you're sitting on the city school board.
I am.
You going to run for anything else? And I didn't call you up here to ask you that. But
You know
I'm
what,
gonna
Ed?
ask you.
They've been after me. I don't know if I'm ready to run for president yet, but several people have asked.
I never thought I'd say this to David Suttles in the first meeting. Put me down. You got my vote, man.
You heard it here first.
Yeah.
No,
Well, I don't know if you wanted to run maybe for a county commission.
I've heard.
or something.
I've had people somewhat approach me softly about possibly running for state office,
Right. Yeah.
and I have not shut that completely out of my mind.
Sure.
I think there's a lot of work that can be done on a state level. I think that there's a lot that needs to be done, especially for this area,
Right.
as far as representation is concerned.
I agree. Yeah.
I think that here comes that D word.
Right.
Our community has become more and more diverse, but our
Nothing wrong with that.
Not at all. Love
Right.
it.
Yeah.
But our representation remains very, monotone.
Well, we've got a bunch of people here from up north,
Mm-hmm.
from California,
Yes.
from Illinois,
Yes.
from all
Washington
and
State.
Washington State.
Met a
yeah,
lady just the
they're-
other day.
They're all over the globe.
Sure.
And I say all over the globe, all over the United States, and even all over the globe.
Even all
We've
over.
got you count MTSU, a lot
Absolutely.
of students
Yeah.
come for the aerospace program,
Yes,
and
wonderful.
they've got one of the finest concrete programs, I think it is.
I was telling somebody about that the other day.
Kids are graduating
Yeah.
out there. I mean, they're getting $high jobs.
They are
too.
getting good money.
Good money.
Yeah.
And goodness knows around here, construction. We go to Nashville.
Oh my
I mean,
God. Smyrna Ready Mix. Their trucks are all over the place.
Cranes all
Yeah.
over the Nashville skyline.
Absolutely. Yeah.
My brother told me once. He said, "Wherever you see cranes," said Eddie, you got a city on the move.
Absolutely. And that's
They're
all you
doing
see.
it, man.
Yeah.
They're doing it.
Yeah, and it's one of those things where our state legislature tried to come in, and you know how they sliced up that district up there,
Oh, yeah.
just
I
to
know.
dilute it because of the fear. But here's my thing, and I say this, and I say it all the time. If you have to do tricks and schemes to win,
Yeah.
then there's something wrong with
You're
your
not
platform.
you're not doing your job
Yeah,
right.
there's something wrong with
Yeah.
your platform because
Sure.
I
It
should
is.
be able to listen to your message and it resonate with me and speak to me on an everyday, everyman level and say, this is the person I want to represent me.
Sure.
You shouldn't have to dilute my district to win your seat.
I'm a Barack Obama man.
Absolutely.
I don't agree with everything Barack Obama did.
Absolutely not. Right.
You know.
Yeah.
I mean, and I don't.
But here's the thing, Ed. We grew up in a time when we held each other accountable.
Sure.
We held each other accountable.
Exactly right.
When you talk about, they had field day at one of the schools here in Davidson County I was at the other day.
Right.
And when we had field day, you had first place, second place, third place. Sometimes you had fourth. If you won, you won. If you didn't, you tried harder.
Sure.
But what we didn't do is let people off the hook just because they were on our team.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, right.
And I think what has happened in a lot of these political parties is we're afraid to hold each other accountable and to really call each other out on our stuff. And
Well,
so
no
we
one
just
wants
get worse.
to step up to the plate and
No.
be accountable.
No.
You know.
No, we don't. You remember Nixon.
I remember.
You know why Nixon resigned? His own
His
party,
own party
told
went
him,
down to the White House,
hey,
led by none other than Barry Goldwater,
yeah,
who President Nixon thought was a urologist for years, and thought Henry Cabot Lodge was a hotel, but no, Mr. President, he's a United States senator.
he's a senator. He works
And he's-
for us.
He's one of your senators.
He's even in our party.
Yeah, but he did. He led the contention and said,
Yeah.
"Mr. President, this is not going to work.
It's not going to work.
You've got to go."
You've got to go, and
No one's willing to tell Trump anything like
No.
that. And here's what I want. What are they so scared of?
it's that clinging to power again. It's just the fear. Because now think about it though. What's so funny is, and this is just the way that it is. Most of those guys in Washington are filthy rich. They have plenty of money.
They got plenty of money.
Enough
Sure.
money to last them,
Rest
and
of
then
their life.
and even if they
And their children's
resign,
lives.
they
Yeah.
get this retirement until God knows when.
And Mitch McConnell is a millionaire many times over. His
And
wife,
he's
you know.
also as old as DIRT. But
Exactly.
there's the fear of losing that power and control when you can just simply stand up and call a spade a spade. Nobody wants to tell the emperor that he has no clothes. And I think that is a disgusting display of pandering that one I've never seen before.
I wouldn't want people, David. I don't want people around me like that.
No, hold me accountable to my stuff.
People around me, it's, oh, Ed, I listen every week. You're the greatest announcer. No, I'm not.
Right. Yeah.
No, I'm not.
Yeah.
And people, well, you must. And I've had people say, "Man, you got to really do it. You got to do a lot of research." I get it. Not necessarily. It's the reason I have guests. They are in here knowing what they're doing.
Exactly.
I don't know anything about managing a church. My
Right.
father was a pastor.
Yeah.
I know that church people can be hard.
Yes. Right.
It's one of the hardest
Sure.
crews to work with
Yeah,
sometimes.
absolutely.
Unfortunately, it's fact.
Yeah, it's true.
And that's the truth.
No, that's a true fact.
Yeah. But, I mean, that's the reason. I mean, I don't want people around telling me how great I am. When I've got that, we got a problem somewhere. I will assure you, my wife and I, we've been together 41 years. Sorry, honey. And,
God bless her.
yeah, I mean, someone said, Congress ought to convene. At least they could issue a medal for this poor woman, whatever. And, they're still fighting over what the place setting is going to be for dinner. But, I mean, really, my wife's never operated that way.
Yeah.
I would imagine your marriage is not that. I mean,
No.
Who fixes dinner at your house?
Yeah.
Generally, whoever got home first,
Yeah.
especially when the kids.
Yeah,
were
absolutely, sure.
And
I mean, I don't like the whole, and I understand a public face and all of this, but
understood.
if we're wrong, if we've done something wrong, if we need to improve in areas, we only get better when we tell the truth to each other. So when you keep saying "Make
Right.
America Great Again," you cannot become great until you deal with your issues.
Exactly.
It just doesn't happen. You can't keep on smoothing over. I mean, you can't make a cake with salt instead of sugar and then smile and act like it's delicious. You got to deal with the issues. And America has a lot of issues. Am I a proud American? Absolutely.
Right.
Am I grateful for the country? Absolutely. But is it perfect? No way.
No.
It's just not. And I was talking to a friend the other day from a whole other country, and he was commenting to me that Americans, and this is true, Americans by and large don't travel outside of the country. I
That's
said,
true.
we really
I've never
don't.
been outside the country.
I said, we don't. I said, because Americans have an idea that everything that's great is already here, so why do we need to go anywhere?
Well,
and
in a way, we're right.
In a way, we're right.
Yeah.
But you never get to see that other people, because we get an idea of other countries as, they're all backwards and
Right.
nobody has anything.
Yeah,
But that's
everything's like Vietnam.
Exactly. But that's just not the truth.
I had good friends. They were single. They were married, but they didn't have any children.
Sure.
And every year around the holidays, they would take a vacation, just the two of them.
Yeah.
And they generally would leave the country. They
Sure.
might go to Cancun, might go to
Right.
Bermuda,
Right.
wherever. Had been to some of the European countries, and went that little trek over there. and said, Ed, if you really want to, we got talking one afternoon. I don't know what it was about, and said, if you really want to appreciate this country,
Yeah.
leave it for a few days.
Absolutely.
So
And that's
you
true.
will kiss the ground when
And
you
that's
get off
true.
that plane.
And that's true.
He said, I'm telling you, our worst day here is better than their best day in a lot of established countries.
Yeah.
And they have freedom. They have voting rights. They have all this. But make no mistake about it, we've got it. When
We've got
James
it.
Corden,
Yeah.
late show host, I don't know if you saw this or not, I played it a couple weeks ago. When he left, he did his last show. He'd been on there 8 years at
Yes.
CBS. And he said, I've seen America divide over the years I've been here. Said, we came in, said, we had President Obama, then here come Trump, then here come COVID. Now we have President Biden. He said, I've seen these divisions.
Yeah.
He said, ladies and gentlemen, I implore you.
Yeah.
You know, and basically what he was saying, you're the light of the world.
Yeah. Get it.
People, you know, why aren't we sending that country over there a bunch of money? Because we have it.
We got it to give.
Now, I'm not saying we ought to go down the road throwing out
absolutely
of your
not.
Cadillac,
Of course
throwing
not.
out $100 bills fistful at a time. But we've been very, very blessed.
We are blessed.
We are, and have continued. And this guy talking about making America great again, I don't know about you, but America's been pretty good to me and my wife.
I've not had any complaints.
Yeah.
And with that said, there's always room for improvement.
Sure.
There just
The biggest
always
room in
is.
the world is the room for improvement.
And that's where we have to live, and we have to be real about it and face it and say, okay, what can we do better? And woe to the party that says we've already got it all together. And we're seeing that.
No, we don't.
We're seeing that.
No.
The Democrats don't have it all together, and Republicans don't have it all together.
Right.
We're all struggling. But and what I don't like is when one party or one group or one faction says, well, they're not American because they don't believe it just like I do. That's
Right.
where I have
Yeah.
difficulty.
Yeah, I mean, and that's what James Corden had said. We're all just trying to figure. He said, "Show me a country that doesn't have problems. Show me an individual that doesn't have differences."
Doesn't exist.
He said, "We're all going through this thing, just trying to figure it
Just
out."
trying to figure it out, brother.
And
just
you know,
trying to figure it out.
I had a comedian, Jim Jeffries. He's from Australia, I believe. I think it's Australia. And he said, "Let me tell you something, folks. He got talking about guns.
Okay.
We didn't even touch on that. I told you we can't cover it all. It'd take a 24-hour show. And,
It would.
You know, but he said, love always wins. He said, well, love doesn't always win. He said, but love conquers. Love will win.
Yes.
And said, don't you ever forget it.
That's true.
And said, you know, he said, look, your Constitution, he's an American citizen now.
Yeah.
He said, your Constitution says I can tell you to go jump off a cliff. And said, it's called freedom of speech. You all wrote it. Said, I'm living by it. He said, I love it.
Absolutely.
And he does. He's not being sarcastic. He's serious. He
Well,
said,
one of the
great.
greatest freedoms that we have in this country that I think
Right.
is the freedom to redress our government.
That's exactly right.
That is
and
so
they're wanting
precious.
to take that. There's factions wanting to take that away.
I know.
You know,
I know.
One of them is this governor we've got when he wants to appoint a commission instead of going by state law.
Yeah.
You know, to
Yeah.
bypass. So
Of
you
course.
appoint a commission where we can bypass. That's exactly the reason the county school board voted for back in August or September last year. They voted against that thing altogether.
Yes, they did.
What happened?
Yeah. Well, they came to a realization. For one, they have to declare a party. I won't declare one. I will be independent
do it?
when I run
Okay.
next year.
All right.
No stripe at all down my back. But the reality is, you can vote it down, but when it gets to the state level, more than likely they'll overturn it and put it in anyway.
More than likely, if they do what they want, that's what they're doing.
So much for local government.
David Settles has been my guest. Thank you all very much. Jackson, thank you again.
Thank you, Jack.
Thank you all for listening. Thank all of you. I know I missed some of the names. We'll get to them next week. And I'll tell you what, till next week, I'll catch you down the road. Good night.